5 ADHD morning routine mistakes women make. The wake-up trap. Why your morning is losing before it begins. You think the day starts when your alarm rings. It doesn't. For many women with ADHD, the day is already rigged against them before their feet hit the floor. The culprits? A stealthy mix of biology, executive function burnout, and the cruel little habit of hitting snooze. ADHD in adults is not rare. It's underseen. Women are frequently diagnosed later, after years of masking and compensating, which means mornings become a lifetime of improvising and blame. That late diagnosis and misrecognition isn't just anecdote. The literature shows girls and women often have different presentations and face delayed diagnosis, with real-life consequences when support arrives late. Mistake number 1, relying on the snooze ritual and expecting willpower to win. You press snooze. You tell yourself 5 more minutes. That tiny act steals cognitive currency. Repeated alarms prolong sleep inertia, the groggy state after waking when attention, reaction time, and decision-making are blunted. The science is blunt. Waking repeatedly with snooze alarms deepens inertia and makes the first hour of your day a fog, not a launch pad. If you have ADHD, where the brain's wake, sleep rhythm, and alertness are already fragile, snooze becomes a trap. What that looks like in real life. You're late because you can't get dressed, you forget the keys, or you're emotionally raw before coffee. All because your brain was never given a firm, one-step wake. The fix is deceptively simple, but needs design. Create a wake ritual, a single alarm plus an immediate sensory anchor. Light, movement, and exposure to bright light if you can. Bright light in the morning helps reset circadian signals and improves daytime function for many adults with ADHD. Make your first 60 seconds ritualized. Drink a glass of water, flip on a lamp, step into sunlight or a bright lamp. This is not discipline, it's biology. Mistake number 2, decision overload. Trying to choose everything at 7:10. Mornings demand dozens of tiny choices. What to wear, what to eat, which email to skim, which child to juggle. For neurotypical brains, that's bland. For ADHD brains, it's a pile-on. Decision fatigue depletes the same executive resources ADHD already starves you of. And by breakfast, you've wasted the fuel you needed for the real work. Research and clinicians describe this as a core executive function problem. The more small decisions stacked early, the worse the brain performs later. How to beat it? Become a master of decide once. Batch decisions the night before. Use uniforms, 3 go-to outfits, a weekly meal blueprint, a visual checklist in the bathroom, and a minute-by-minute buffer zone between wake and out-the-door tasks. Automate. Pre-pack your bag, set the coffee on a timer, put laundry by the door. The idea isn't deprivation, it's savings. Every choice you eliminate early is attention you bank for the day. Mistake number 3, thinking mornings. Start in the morning, skipping night before prep. If your mornings feel like firefighting, the fire started hours earlier. ADHD brains are vulnerable to chaotic environments. Clutter and unfinished tasks create cognitive friction that becomes crushing in the morning. Numerous ADHD guides and practical evidence point to preparation the night before as the single most powerful lever to reduce the morning scramble. It's not magical, it's deliberate scaffolding. Before we stop this half, a short, hard fact you need to hear. Sleep quality and circadian rhythm disorders are common in adults with ADHD and massively influence morning function. That means the solution isn't just being more disciplined. Sometimes it's medical or environmental and needs a different strategy. We'll talk about that in the second segment because the morning you want begins the night before. Women with ADHD are frequently diagnosed later, and their presentation can be different, causing years of under-recognition. Sleep inertia is a measurable state that worsens with repeated snooze use and can last minutes to hours. Decision fatigue compounds ADHD by draining executive resources. Mistake number 4, skipping or mismatching your morning fuel. Food, caffeine, and energy traps. Let's be blunt, your brain is a metabolic engine. For many with ADHD, blood glucose swings and poor breakfast composition worsen attention, irritability, and reaction time. Studies show skipping breakfast is associated with worse cognitive performance and can be correlated with ADHD and mood difficulties. There's evidence that a balanced, protein-forward breakfast can support alertness and reaction time in people with ADHD. But it's not only whether you eat, it's what and when. High-sugar breakfasts push a short surge and a crash. The crash is an attention disaster. Protein and healthy fats produce steadier cognitive fuel. And caffeine? Timing matters. Caffeine can sharpen the morning, but when used as a patch on poor sleep, it masks the real problem and makes sleep debt worse. Plan caffeine, a modest cup after a protein breakfast, and not as the only strategy for alertness. Mistake number 5, running a one-size-fits-all routine, ignoring medication timing, hormones, and chronotype. This one is a deep cut. Many advice lists sell one miracle routine. Wake at 5, stretch, journal, meditate, caffeinate, conquer. For women with ADHD, that's often the wrong map. 2 invisible rhythms shape the morning: medication pharmacokinetics and sex hormone cycles. First, ADHD medications, short and long-acting stimulants or non-stimulants, have specific onset times and durations. If your medication isn't active until mid-morning, your early routine will be gasping. Conversely, meds can affect sleep if timed wrong. Clinicians and guides note that medication coverage can leave early morning gaps or rebound periods, both of which wreck routine plans. If you suspect your meds aren't supporting your morning, that isn't a moral failure. It's a dosing/timing issue to discuss with your prescriber. Second, hormones change everything. For many women, symptoms fluctuate across the menstrual cycle. Dopamine and estrogen shifts can make attention and mood swing. Research increasingly shows ADHD symptom severity tracks hormone phases. For some women, the week before a period is brutally harder. That means a rigid morning plan works on some days and fails spectacularly on others. The Tactical Morning Kit: concrete, bite-sized, doable. You asked for a script, you'll get a toolkit. These are non-fluffy, immediately usable moves. Single alarm plus sensory chain, 0 to 2 minutes. Alarm, light on, water, 5 steps of movement. Minutes matter. If you must, set a second device across the room, but no snooze loops. Sleep science and snooze studies support this. Decide once, night before. Outfit, bag, breakfast, and a 2-item priority list for the morning. If you only do one preparatory action tonight, make it this: 2-tier breakfast plan. A quick protein-based option and a luxe option, both prepped in 3 minutes or ready in the fridge. Evidence ties breakfast composition to cognitive performance. Tiered routine card, print it. On your wall, Tier A, 6 tasks, Tier B, 3 tasks, Tier C, 1 task, survive. Rotate based on how you feel. Medication plus hormone audit. Note your medication onset and peak. Track symptom severity across your cycle for 60 days. Share that log with your clinician. The data will do more to change treatment than guilt ever will. 2 micro wins before work. Arrange for 2 tiny tasks you'll actually finish. Finishing fuels focus. Endorphins plus completion equals momentum. A micro story, Maya's morning, rewritten. Maya was a 2-job artist who had ADHD and learned to hate mornings. She hit snooze, skipped breakfast, and told herself she'd get it together every day. After tracking for a month, she realized 3 things. She hit her worst days before her period. Her long-acting medication took an hour to start, and she was decision bankrupt every morning. She switched to a 1-alarm sensory chain, lamp plus water plus 2 minutes of dance. Prepped a protein smoothie the night before, kept a Tier B routine card near her bed, and spoke to her prescriber about a short morning booster. The result? Fewer frantic exits, fewer guilt cycles, and slow rewiring of trust with her mornings. This is not miraculous. It's targeted engineering, and it works because it respects biology and executive limits, the gentle truth. If you've been telling yourself, I just need to try harder, stop. ADHD mornings are shaped by neurology, sleep, hormones, treatment timing, and the architecture of choice. The mistakes on this list are not character defects. They're predictable consequences of a brain with different wiring. What you need is design, not shame. Recap the 5 mistakes we've pulled apart: snooze reliance and sleep inertia, decision overload and executive burnout, no night before prep, mornings start the night before, skipping or mismatching fuel, breakfast composition, and timing matter. One-size routines that ignore meds and hormones, medication timing, and menstrual cycle effects are real and fixable. You don't have to fix everything at once. Pick one change, one alarm, one night before prep, or one breakfast, and run it for 2 weeks. Track it. Be a scientist with your life. The morning is not your enemy. It's an experiment waiting for smarter design.